Hello and welcome. Sorry, there's a little bit of pause there. Um, Before all the introductions and everything else goes on, I want to go ahead and make an announcement since we are live on YouTube right now, which we will always be live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Hopefully, there's some things that are going to be happening within the next few weeks that might hinder us from going live exactly at 7 p.m., but we will go live on Wednesdays. But I'm going to go ahead and make the statement now. We are currently under a ice storm advisory, and all day today, we have been warned that over the course of the next few hours or so, we may experience outages from internet to actual power and all of this stuff. So, just a fair warning: if this podcast just ends, then that's why. But hi, hello. Of course, I am your host, co-host of Star Wars Alliance. Of course, Clay, and with me, like always, giggling up a storm over here, is Katie. Katie,
That's
how
what
you
I'm
doing?
here for. I'm okay. I will have to pause in about 10 minutes myself because it's been a day and Matt is providing cookies. So if you see me munching on a double
Ooh.
chocolate cookie,
So
um, sorry.
it's funny. It's funny that you bring that up because everybody and their grandmother today was talking about this new flavor of Dr. Pepper that came out recently.
Ah, yes.
Blackberry. I picked it up.
Interesting.
I sipped it. I'm still gonna drink it because I wasted money on it. It tastes like you just poured grape soda into a Dr. Pepper. It's not great. Like
Oh, that's
I'm not gonna say it's bad because I like grape soda, but I wouldn't buy a pack of it. It's not like something I
yeah.
would like. If somebody was like, "Hey, bring something to the party," I'm not gonna buy blackberry Dr. Pepper because I wouldn't want to put everybody through that. But I'm being a trooper. I'm trying it out. I'm drinking it, but I also have a bottle of water right next to me. Um, but
Water,
yeah,
whiskey, and milk will be coming with the cookies.
triple threat right there.
Dude,
So of course we did not have a show last week. My life has been absolutely chaotic at work, and I needed a break. I needed a day. So
and my house just went on the market. So I needed the time to clean.
exactly. So it,
So
it, it kind of worked out in our favor, kind of. But with that break, we actually have quite a few things to talk about. Uh, excuse me. Now, our scheduled main topic is, of course, Star Wars Adventures Volume 2
the
from
High
Phase 3.
Republic
Yes,
adventures.
sorry. The High Republic Adventures uh, from Phase 3, Volume 2. Um, but if you look at our thumbnail and, of course, the episode title, we got hit with a pretty big rumor. This has not been confirmed.
Rumor.
It
Big
is a
rumor.
is a big rumor, but a rumor that I would absolutely love to see happen. Um,
I
Katie and I
loved
were
giving
actually,
you apoplexy last week when you sent me this. And I said, Thrawn question mark?
oh my god, no. Okay, yeah. So let's just jump right into it. Let's just jump right into this conversation. Okay. So the biggest rumor that there is right now with Star Wars is that Henry Cavill has seemingly found his way into a Star Wars film. Now, I don't believe, and I can double check, I don't believe he is attached to anybody's individual movie.
Yeah, it didn't state any movie in particular.
It just says Henry Cavill is reportedly in talks with Lucasfilm for a villain role in an upcoming Star Wars project.
Oh, did it say villain role? I forgot about that.
I believe so. Uh, Again, grain of salt. This is also coming from uh Twitter scooper extraordinaire, My Time to Shine. They have not been all that great with scoops nowadays. They are very hit and miss, but this is a big enough rumor that I'm kind of hoping it actually becomes true. But yeah, Katie, when I shared this with Katie, because it first hit the GUA chat and then I sent it to her, Katie was like, "Oh, a younger Thrawn." Um, I
Oh, no, I thought I said
immediately,
Thrawn recast.
oh yeah, you said Thrawn replacement, and I immediately was like, I guess.
Because
Right.
he was the he was
He
like
was the
everybody's.
rumored, yeah.
Well, okay, there was Benedict Cumberbatch, and then there was Henry Cavill.
That's
So
right.
that
That's
was
right.
like the two popular fan
But
casts for
then
Thrawn.
I immediately hit you with the Darth Bane photo, and I said,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, I think I got something here." Because the only reason why I say this is reading the Bane trilogy, seeing Darth Bane really grow into that character.
Mhm.
I could almost imagine a Geralt type of build
Yeah.
for Bane, and like just seeing him turn into a Darth Bane, I'm like, oh, that would be amazing.
But then you sent one other one
Yes,
with
and the
Ryan Gosling as
I
Corin Horn.
no, before I did that, before I said Gosling as Corn Horn, I said or, and I shared a picture of Stellan Geos, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, it could work. I'm not saying that it couldn't work, but it could work. And then that's when I dropped the bomb. I'm like, hey, you know what? I have made my final decision. I know what I want. Ryan Gosling as Corn Horn and Henry as Exar Kun.
That's it for me.
This duo would be absolutely amazing. Now, for everybody who has and has not read the Star Wars Jedi Academy
It's the Jedi Academy trilogy and I Jedi.
and I Jedi, yes, there are minimal interactions with Henry, or sorry, I'm already picturing him as Exar Kun. There are minimal interactions between Exar Kun and Corn Horn,
Mhm.
but there is such a like presence of Exar Kun throughout those books, and they do it very, very well. Very um uh lurking in the shadows, very much within the force,
Yep.
being guided by this person or that person, da da da. But I would just love to see that moment when they go into that temple
Yeah.
and you see the manifestation of Exar Kun, and it just be Henry.
And then Mara Jade coming in to rescue Corin. Ah!
It would be so, and that's the thing. Like, you would also get the opportunity to bring up a Mara Jade, if at
Yeah,
all
it
possible.
won't happen.
It won't
But
happen.
your girl likes to dream.
That's all this is. It's a huge fan cast, but I said I was like, Lucasfilm, let me cook here for a second, okay? If it's not this, I won't accept anything else. Kind of. It's Henry being in Star Wars. I'll accept it either way. Because I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but I believe it was during the filming of BVS, Zack Snyder posted on May 4th a photo of Henry Cavill in the Superman suit having a cloak on with a red lightsaber, and like the cloak was like over his eyes and everything. It was
Mhm.
very shadowed and everything else, and I'm like, damn, I need this man in a Star Wars film right now.
Greg and I actually talked about that. We did a whole episode when we first started diving into the Bane trilogy on should Zack Snyder direct a Bane movie? Because that was one of the topics that came up and everything.
I don't think I would trust Snyder with a Bane movie. Like I get the action would be great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would get the emotion.
Yeah.
And if I would get the like and another thing that I think I would get from Snyder is like the environmental storytelling, like the
Mm-hmm.
just like the setting of like just everywhere that you go in that trilogy,
Yeah.
especially just even in the first book, like the point where he takes a journey into this desolate planet looking for this freaking 100-year freaking Sith temple that nobody has dared to even try to find. Like, even that I think would be absolutely amazing. So I could see Snyder doing some things. I think I would trust him more as a cinematographer on that movie rather than the actual director. But that's what everybody says about Zack Snyder.
For the audience perspective.
What cookies are they? What kind of cookies?
These are the Pillsbury double chocolate chip cookies.
Nice. Now I'm not a chocolate person, but I'm sure that sounds amazing to everybody else.
I still can't believe you're not a chocolate person.
I
even have like Ghirardelli squares by my desk when I get a craving.
That's amazing.
The realtor, when she came to take pictures, was like, okay, this has to go. It's my candy stash on the table back there.
That's amazing.
So I don't have to go down the stairs. Sorry.
All right. Now, I just remembered we actually do have let's see here. We do have another piece of news that we did not get to talk about because we did not have a show last week. The directors for Andor season 2 have been confirmed. So
yes,
they have been confirmed, but for some reason it's not showing episode 4.
yes. Somebody did. So Tony Gilroy had an interview, and he revealed these directors for the certain episodes, but didn't talk about episode 4. And we know Gilroy is not directing anything because he didn't want to be behind the director's chair. He wanted to be the showrunner and the writer.
Who do you think is directing episode 4?
I'm wondering if it's Circus.
Ooh. That would be a fun one.
Right? Okay, so episodes 1 through 3 and 10 through 12 are Ariel Kleiman, which I think this is the first time a female director has gotten the chair for the first and last episode of the series for Star Wars. So that's cool. She's done Yellow Jackets and The Resort. Alonso Ruiz Palacio, he did La Cocina and Outer Range. He is doing episodes 5 through 6. And Janusz Metz, who did True Detective and 000, is doing episodes 7 through 9.
This is very exciting to me because we know that it's starting, like it's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm over here thinking that it's already mid-February, and I'm like, we're getting Andor in like this many weeks, and it's the beginning of February, so I'm a little disappointed myself. But just knowing that it's right there, we're going to be getting it soon. It's very, very exciting, guys. You need to remember also this month we're going to have our Mask of Fear review coming out later this month. It should be, looking at the calendar, the episode of the 20th of this month.
So that would be a 2-episode drop.
Yes, it would. It would be our review for the Mask of Fear, and then, of course, anything and everything that is coming out for that week as well. So a lot of Star Wars content to look forward to still. So it's very, very exciting.
I was planning our April through June, guys, because I just had time and was like, I'm going to go ahead and lay out what we are doing and everything. And I was laying out all the comic and book reviews and stuff. And I even texted Clay, y'all, we're going to do a Star Wars Celebration solo rundown. And then we're going to do an Andor episodes 1 through 3, because I'm assuming that's what the release schedule is going to be, very similar to what happened last year. So we're going to do 2 separate episodes. Y'all, I forgot to put Andor in for the rest of the time. So I'm like laying out all these book reviews and I'm like, man, like there is something new every single week. And then I look back as I start to put these on my actual calendar, because we have a doc. And then I put them on the calendar and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't put Andor the rest of the month. Because now, April and May are swamped with High Republic things.
I do want to go ahead and share that we will actually be having one surprise review probably this month. I'll go ahead and name drop it now. I teased it earlier because I still hadn't received my copy, and I finally received it like 4 days after Katie got hers. But for any and all parents out there, we were very gratefully given the opportunity to have Star Wars Someone Who Loves You, a children's novel written by Beth Revis, and illustrated by
Sanja?
Yes. Illustrated it's Sophia Liu, I believe is the name on it.
Why did I have Sanja in my head? Oops.
Yeah. Sophia Liu. It was a little bit of a bigger book than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting just like the small children's book to come at my door, and then I saw this very large package. I was like, what is this? And then I opened it. I was like, holy crap, this thing is like, it's a kid's book, but it's one of those like extra large like formats.
Kids have terrible vision.
Apparently. But I love the art in it. We will talk about all of that. We will talk about the just general story of it. But of course, us being parents of daughters, we of course wanted to give this book a try. And I am like that day, and after I immediately got it, I was like, yep, I'm reading this for you for bedtime. She did not like bedtime, but she enjoyed the book. So just be on the lookout for that review sometime this month, along with, of course, The Mask of Fear.
Yes.
But speaking of books, we have some comic news.
And then book news later.
And then book news later, yes. Comic news in the upcoming comic book Legacy of Vader. It will show Kylo Ren between the events of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, tracking down survivors of Order 66. So says some people on YouTube and all these other things. Now, this caused a whole bunch of hubbub. This was this caused a lot more.
People lost their minds.
No, and then of course it's one of Travis's favorite conversations, Order 66, if you haven't already known this before. But he's like, Order 66 survivors, are you kidding me? Like, what are we doing here? I did see a really funny tweet that said at this point Yoda was just gaslighting Luke when he said, when gone I am, the last of the Jedi you will be. It's a funny remark. It's okay to like meme about these things, but to genuinely be upset about this, I think is really, really dumb. Now, since that statement was made, Charles Soule himself said, nope, there's one Order 66 survivor in this series, and it's a very small part of the overall story. Guys, what we need to understand One, this is a fictional story. Calm down, okay? And two, I'll probably have 3 points, but two, this story takes place in a galaxy far, far away, far and in between, with thousands of planets.
Yep.
And you're surprised and disappointed and angry that somebody didn't get absolutely freaking murdered during the obliteration of the Jedi. For one, again, you guys need to calm down. And two, that is very possible. Very, very possible. With that many planets, for one, if you guys don't think there should be any survivors, like what does that say about the competence of these people that were protecting the galaxy to begin with? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, it's supposed to be this big thing that, like, oh, they caught them by surprise. They weren't expecting this. That's why it was such a mass murder throughout the galaxy. But like, if there was 1 or 2 or 10 or even 15 out of the thousands, I think it's okay.
And I mean, you're talking about like these little kids who are most of the survivors. And then you're also talking about like one of the survivors that's in Charles Soule's Darth Vader run. He banished himself from the order because he thought he was doing things like he thought he wasn't following the ways of the Force. He took the brash vow. You can't tell me that there's others who didn't potentially take that vow at the same time. It like disappeared where there weren't any clone troopers.
Yeah.
Like these people just went off into the galaxy. The Jedi didn't take note of where they were going. Like there's no record of them. They get found minorly. Like
yeah.
So and like Soule said this was going to be visiting his like the past and future of Star Wars for what he's tackled. So to say that he wouldn't bring back things from the Darth Vader run, it's a little like insane, guys.
Yeah, I think it's very ridiculous, very silly. And when it comes to these books, genuinely, I will always tell you, wait until the trade comes out, read the story, and judge for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one thing, I know for sure, Soule will always have a good Star Wars story.
He will.
Especially with the title including Darth Vader. It is Legacy of Vader. His Vader run was absolutely phenomenal. This is going to be good. So take a chance, read it, and judge for yourself. Now, going down the list of what is in our Star Wars chat, the next thing we have is Daisy Ridley's Star Wars movie enlists writer George Nolfi. Okay. So I am actually, because I have no idea who he is.
He has written he has worked on the screenplays for the Bourne Ultimatum and Ocean's 12 as like his highlights.
So looking at
which I've seen Ocean's 12 and I love Ocean's 12. So very excited about this.
So in his IMDb credits as a writer, he has, of course, like you said, the Bourne Ultimatum. There is the Adjustment Bureau, which I actually really love that movie. That is a oh shoot, who was in that movie? Matt Damon and Emily Blunt are in that movie.
Okay.
Along with oh shoot, who else was in that movie? Anthony Mackie was also in that movie. It's a really, really interesting movie overall. I I thought it was very clever, very fun. Um, Neat little twist in there as well. Very fun movie. Um, so I like everything. Well, the things that I've seen of his, I enjoy.
Hmm.
So for that, I will say okay. Like, I don't know how that will really like the movies that he has written or helped write on. I don't really know how that exactly translates to Star Wars, but I
Fair.
am willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what he's put together, and I think it could be an interesting take on a different genre for Star Wars, potentially with what he brings. Especially with Daisy Ridley's latest film that she's working on with, I believe it's her husband, The Cleaner, where she's like a window cleaner and then has to take on like a bunch of villains and stuff.
Yeah.
In this high rise. Very excited for that. So I think there's a lot of promise here. Um, and again, the revolving door of screenwriters is only because this is a famous IP, people.
Yep.
This does not get as noticed if it's not IP. So just remember that.
Yeah. I totally agree. Um Switching back to book news, we were really excited about this reveal. We made some guesses as of who might be on the cover. And for the most part, we were absolutely correct. So the reveal of Trials of the Jedi, excuse me, it is the final High Republic novel set to release June 17th of 2025. It is right there, Katie.
Yep.
We're almost done with this,
I
and I am
can't
not
believe
okay.
it.
I am not okay with it being so close. I don't want to say goodbye. I don't.
I don't either. Um, it's very sad to me, especially as I was playing the schedule. I was like, holy crap, what are we going to do when all these characters are gone? Like, what? What is going on? Um, so on the cover, as we predicted, is Avar Chris, Burry, Bell, and Elzar. Forgot Elzar's name for a second there. But
Yeah.
also, we have Ty Yorick decked out in the cloak and armor, it looks like, of the Jedi Order. So has she reclaimed her Jedi-ness?
I I don't know. Like, I can very much see it being like, hey, you clearly need my help, or I feel obligated to help, either or, due to the severity of protecting the galaxy.
Mhm.
Um, and we've seen this time and time again. Like, hell, we're even going to be talking about, of course, Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures.
Yep.
You know, there's a character in here, one of the main characters, that decided to walk away from the Jedi, but is clearly doing things to still protect the galaxy, is still
Yep.
doing their part. So it's not going to be surprising to me when I read this part of whichever book it may be, whether it be in the Trials of the Jedi or in any other book prior to this release, when they actually say like, hey, I'm here to help.
Mhm.
You know?
And we will be talking about Sabers for Hire Phase 3 in a couple of weeks.
I believe
So
so, yeah.
we may see it in that comic as well, because that trade is also out. So um but yeah, I love Ty from what I read of her so far. So I'm very excited to see her back in a book, because The Rising Storm was one of my favorites. So yeah,
Yeah.
very excited. I love this cover. Tom said that they were trying to articulate with the phase 3 covers the rising sun. and everything. And I think this does it beautifully because you've got what is it? Oh my gosh. The Eye of Darkness is like all black, and then you've got Temptation of the Force. Sorry, I'm having to look at my shelf because I can't remember these names. Temptation of the Force with like the dawn, and then you've got this one with beautiful colors, with the pinks and the greens and like yellows that like articulate the sun rising. So I love this.
Yeah, I
Very
really love the color palette for this book. And hopefully, I don't think it will be though. Hopefully, the rising sun, the eventual like I I've already had in this phase like twice now the happy ending that I have always wanted, and I just know Soul was like, okay, you had it. Now I have to crush you. And
well.
so
You
he's
remember he said he wraps it all up in the last 5 pages.
yeah. So
So
I just know it's gonna just be like boom, 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 like super quick, and I'm just my soul is just going to be crushed.
Random House Worlds, can we please get notice for when we're going to get this book so I can take like 2 days off work and read it? So that
I
way I won't be
I
surprised.
I may have to do the same. I may have to do the same.
Oh,
Yeah. So looking forward to it, not looking forward to it. Of course, we are getting a lot more books as we will talk about later on in these announcements. But we got another manga. This one was a
yeah.
complete surprise to me. I was not expecting this, and I don't think anybody else was expecting this. A manga called The Path of the Lightsaber is releasing this fall and will take place during Star Wars sequel trilogy. Now,
Yes.
did you actually get a chance to read anything about this book? Because I didn't get that chance.
So I did, and I've got it pulled up, so I will walk us through it. So it's called The Path of the Lightsaber by Kenny Ruiz. And the quote ambitious tale will be set between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. This manga is loaded with brand new characters and original stories, as well as the High Republic throwbacks. So that is very interesting to see. The cover, which I will share if I can find the button. We cannot share on the vertical monitor because my vertical monitor is currently broken. But we've got a yellow lightsaber taking front and center, with different ships, the First Order troopers over here. But then it feels like I can't remember her species, but that feels like the heralds from phase 2 species right here, this character. And then of
Oh,
course it
yes.
looks like a little BB-8 droid over here. So I love the artwork. I wish it was going to be color, but as I have learned, manga is not color.
Well,
So-
I will say this. This what I will assume will be the cover of this manga. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the art.
yes, I
I
love
really,
it.
really do. So,
Um,
I will say this, Katie. Um, don't know if they will do it for this one in particular, but in the circles that I follow on social media, and I know that you have gotten off of it for the most part, um, there's a lot of people who, in their off time, will color manga.
that's such a
Now,
fun idea.
it's not for official release, of course,
Right.
but what they will do is they'll take like the biggest splash pages or like the most important panels or whatever, and they'll color that specifically, and you just get an entirely different feeling from it when it's colored. So,
Oh,
uh,
that may be something I have to do. I have all these gel pens and everything. I might as well put them to use.
so yeah, I think it's very very fun when people get creative like that. So, So yeah, really looking forward to this. Of course, I love manga, always have. I've enjoyed the High Republic oh shoot,
Manga is the path of oh my gosh,
I can't
edge
remember what it
balance.
is. Path, yeah, yes, the Edge of Balance mangas. I've really enjoyed those. So I think I will enjoy this one as well.
And I think that's the benefit of what the High Republic Publishing Initiative has tried to do is it's bringing in new authors and new opportunities for Star Wars to expand across different areas of media because I mean there was not a manga before this that wasn't an adapt there was not any original mangas. There was only
Mhm.
adaptations.
Yeah,
And so proving that Star Wars could thrive with original storytelling in manga format was something that the High Republic really did a great job at. So I'm
yeah.
excited to see where this takes us, especially into the sequel trilogy. I love we're getting sequel trilogy stories. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is very neat. Um, especially in a place where we haven't really explored that. Of course,
Yep.
these the Marvel comics are of course kind of making their way there, but to be able to get smack dab in the middle of it and really kind of just like have fun with it, I think that's very neat. Uh, so yeah, really excited about it. The
100%.
next news, it has been a while, but the rest of season 2 of the Young
Young
Jedi
Jedi Adventures.
Adventures is coming in March, so just next month. We can expect that bottom half of season 2 to reach Disney Plus. Of course, these always drop all at once,
Mhm.
and it's been a while, so I think what me and Amberlyn will end up doing is just sitting there and binging the entire season, watching it all over
For sure. That's probably what I will end up doing too.
again.
Mara isn't at that stage where she can watch it with me. But who knows? Maybe she'll watch a couple. I don't know. Um, so I think from there, the final piece of news that we have actually came out today. And Random House Worlds is blessing us with another title that we actually got a preview of again with those early listings. It is a book for the Bad Batch fans, and it will be releasing August 5th of this year. And this novel is set during the events of season 2 of the series and follows the team as they try to rebuild their island refuge Pabu after a devastating tsunami. This book features Omega, Hunter, Wrecker, and of course, Tech. So, and it is written by Lamar Giles. That's very important.
Yes, written by Lamar Giles. I love this cover for this book.
Yes.
I truly hope this is the final cover. Um,
It looks like it.
yeah,
Um, it doesn't have
especially
any.
well, I was gonna say, especially with it making the announcement that it's gonna release in August, I don't think this will
Yeah.
be like a hey, this is kind of just fun art that we're making for this announcement. Final cover will be upon release. Like I don't get that feeling whatsoever. Um, but this is amazing. Like the fact that we thought we were all done with the Bad Batch, and
Yeah.
then getting the announcement of the comic and people being able to read that, I think was really cool and a great idea. And they're like, oh wait, but there's more,
There's
and
more.
we get this novel. I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, I will only accept this novel if and only if, let me actually get the proper name for this. Um, if D. Bradley Baker is the narrator.
Ooh, that could be fun. Omega's actress could also be a good one. But D. Bradley Baker is probably more likely to do it.
I think that he probably would be more willing to do it. Um, Michelle Ang,
Yes.
being Omega's voice actress. Um, I see, and that's the thing that I would want to know. So, of course, it says here in this little excerpt, uh, it has, of course, like just on the cover, it shows Omega, it shows Tech, shows Hunter, shows Record. Doesn't really give us anything as far as like from whose perspective it is or anything else like that.
Yeah.
So you could really do whatever. If it was an Omega story and she was the one narrating the story, I think that would be fun too. So
Yeah.
I think either way would really really work. So
Oh, on the note of narrators, I just want to shout out Random House World for picking January Lavoie to narrate Mask of Fear. I think getting her vocal area for Mon Mothma in particular is going to be super important. Everybody loves Mark Thompson. I love Mark Thompson, but picking January Lavoie for this book, I think is super important. So brava, way to go. I just
yes,
wanted
yeah,
to
that's that.
say that.
Yes, it's absolutely true. And we've vocalized it more often than not. Like I am a really big fan of Thompson. Um, he is, I believe he is quite possibly the person that people think of when it comes to Star Wars narration.
Yeah.
But like to get more voices out there with these books, I think is very, very important. And we've always had an issue when a male tries to imitate female voices when it like
They just can
the
never
one
get the range.
they can never get the range. Like the one that bothered me the most, I think. Oh shoot, what was it? Because I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Princess and the Scoundrel actually had two different
Yes, I think they had Saskia and
and
Mark
Thompson.
Thompson.
Yeah. So that one they actually did right. Whereas when it's solely just a male narrator and then there's a female character, it always like you can tell like they're acting.
Yeah.
You're not immersed into the story at that point. You're like, this is okay. Like
I'm
I
really
can
proud of myself.
pretend.
I got that right. Saskia Marlovid and Mark Thompson. I totally butchered her last name, but I love Saskia. She does really great things with narration. So,
Yeah. So uh really, really glad that Lavoie is going to be front and center with Mask of Fear, especially like you said, with Mon Mothma being the spearhead of this
mhm.
novel. I think it is a great choice.
Yeah,
But I think that's it. That is it
that is
for the
it.
news.
Somehow we summarized a bunch of news in 45 minutes. I'm very
Yes,
impressed with ourselves.
I am very impressed with us as well. I know that we've had fairly short episodes as of late, and this one is going to be a decently sized one. Um, so next topic, of course, is Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures, Volume 2 of Phase 3. Something that everybody needs to remember when you're searching up this book. Do not just say High Republic Adventures, Volume 2, because there's three of them. It's not great. Um, yeah, it actually took me a while to grab this book. Um, I am really contemplating canceling Amazon after so many packages have been delayed and the promises of overnight shipping and then it being 2-day shipping and then it being into 4-day shipping. Like it's not great. Unfortunately, I can't cancel Amazon Prime First World Problems because Invincible comes out in like a day and I still want to watch that. So anyway, Katie, what did you
I
feel about this volume?
So I loved it. I have issues, I will say. Um,
Okay.
but I loved it. I love Zine. I love Lula. Um, and they're just so cute together. They're so adorable. I think it's what, issue 7 where they're like proposing to each other,
I
or
think it
planning the
might
proposal.
even be well,
It's issue 2.
this is 6 through 10. I believe it is the second issue. I believe it is actually one of the longer issues of the 4 or of the 5. Um yeah, it's the very end of the second issue.
Okay. Um, Either way, I thought that was adorable how they were both like, oh, they don't really have a culture. Like, yes, Lulu's from Naboo, but is she really from Naboo? And Zine is from a cult where they don't really have a lot of customs, but like we fell in love on Iriadu, and this is the Iriadu custom. That's like,
It
yes,
was
Daniel, yes.
it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Again, these adventure stories are targeted more towards a younger audience, which I am totally fine with. We have absolutely been loving every single story that comes out of these.
Yep.
I did find there to be a little cheese with it, and I think that's fine to a point. Um, I was hoping that it would last a little longer because there's a moment in the story where both Zine and
Lulu.
Lula, uh, they both come to the cockpit of the ship, basically saying the exact same thing, like, "Oh, I'm madly in love and I want to propose, but I
I
don't
loved
know."
it.
And it's fun because the other two are like, "Oh, and you're not sure if she'll say yes," like kind of just like playing off them,
Ah,
and it's so funny, it's so silly, and I do love that. But like they're right there, right? They're like, oh, how are they gonna go through all of this chaos of what's going on with the Nihil and the Occlusion Zone and all this other stuff, while also trying to plan a proposal and like do all these other things. Like I wanted it to kind of last a little longer with that. Like I
mhm.
wanted there to be more because I will say this first issue of this was a kind of, I wouldn't say blah issue, but it had almost nothing to do with the plot. Like it was just like, hey, we're here, and look, there's our old ship. We'll go scare them
Mhm.
off. All right, let's go play again. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that, I guess. And it just gets you kind of it kind of gets you going for
Yeah.
this volume, which I
I
am not saying is a bad thing.
right.
But going from what we did see, and I think that's more of the qualm that I have. Volume 1 ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger. We know that is it Lulu or Lula?
I go back and forth. Lula
Lula. Okay. We know that Lula lost her memory,
has not
but it
gained all of it back.
has not gained it all back. But it was insinuated at the end of volume 1 that she remembers doing something absolutely horrible. And it
Mhm.
was killing somebody on the shores of freaking
Oh
where does Starlight
gosh.
Beacon fall? Irem or Arano?
Yes. Iram.
Irem. On the shores of Irem. And like then you just see her throwing away all of her like Jedi garbs onto the bonfire, and it's like this supposed to be this like ceremonial like releasing of all of that stuff. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, but that hangs on you, right? That's gotta leave some sort of like mark on you.
Right. And I
Not
think
touched at all in this volume
uh,
whatsoever.
yeah, and I think here's here's where I have an issue with, I think, how many one-shots that they've chosen to do. Um, I think potentially some of that could be in the one-shots. Like, Crash and her crew show up on Iriadu, but, like, in the front of the issue, they're on Corellia. Or in the front of the trade, they're on Corellia. But then they
Yeah.
magically show up on Iriadu. And it's like, okay, I know there's like the Crash adventures in here, but also like, could we get like, hey, how did we get here kind of thing?
There was a lot of jumping around in this volume.
Yeah.
There was a lot of time skips a little bit.
Yeah. The other thing that I had an issue with was Severin Tarkin.
Okay.
It took me until she explained it, and I don't know if that was the point. It took me until she explained it to figure out who she exactly was and why she was like hanging around with the Jedi so much, because it was like,
and
why
I
are
also
you playing the game with them? Like, who are you?
and that's the thing that I need to look back on. In the sense of, where was she introduced? Because I don't remember Severin in any other story. Now, that may just be us clearly not remembering her importance of one novel or whatever.
It said, so her explanation was that she was with the prisoners that Lula and Zine rescued.
Okay,
in
so
the
she
last
was
issue.
so she was not seen.
That's what I'm thinking.
In volume 1, but now she is here.
Yes.
Yeah. If that's the case, and I can see it being like, oh, but like, bam, here's the surprise. I'm actually a part of this important family. Blah 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 blah. Doesn't really work all that well. I get the cliffhanger, because even with this cliffhanger, what ends up happening is she gets to take the spot of her uncle, and her uncle
Tarkin family business.
Yeah, her uncle is playing a lot of like dirty politics, and like, oh, well, technically, due to the fact that my body was not found during Starlight Beacon's, fall, they declared me permanently dead.
The
Like,
dumbest thing ever.
It was a little silly, but it's, unfortunately, I feel like something that you would actually see in real life American politics, unfortunately, is like, oh, and he even says it. Her uncle even says it. He talks to an advisor. It's like, oh, has so and so actually been confirmed? Like, she is literally talking to him face to face, and he's like, have we actually
like taken her death certificate away? Like,
have we actually taken this into consideration and made an investigation of this at all? And they're like, nope, the investigation is not complete. He's like, well, access denied. Peace out. And this man, her uncle, really was able to take control of the family business, all because of like some ceremonial bull crap of
don't you remember
this
Tarkin?
monster. I do, but it's just like this idea of like, oh, we kill this beast, and we take pride in that, and that's how I'm the family man. And then we see Severin like actually befriend one of these beasts, which I kind of saw coming, but I thought was really fun. Especially when she like goes into the city and is just like, hey, look what I got.
And with it being a kid's book, like, us as adult readers are going to see stuff coming. And I say kids book, they're all ages, but it's geared towards the younger audience. So we're going to see things coming, but it's still fun to like see that happen. Like, I did enjoy her character once I figured out who she was. But like seeing her, because she's wearing like this mask in the 6th issue. And it's like, okay, who is she? Because I don't recognize her as a Jedi. And so trying to figure that out, and then going into the city and then learning like, oh, yeah, technically I was dead because I was kidnapped on Starlight Beacon and put in jail and nobody found me. And so once that happened, it started to make a little more sense.
Hmm.
But I definitely spent a little bit going, who the heck is she?
And then we also get a return of Master. Oh shoot, what is his name again? It is
Cantum Psy? Bucket of
um
Bloods.
Master Emmerich.
Yes. Oh yes. I forgot about Emmerich.
Yes.
Um and he is in the Inclusion Zone Star Wars Adventures one. So I'm excited to see that.
Hmm.
Because I just love him. I love the idea of a Star Wars mystery. And I think he's in Echoes of Fear as well, but I'm
I
not
believe
entirely
he is.
certain.
Yeah.
Because he's helping Wreath like track down the Nameless origins and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah. So really fun seeing him. Uh, and overall, I think it was a fun book. Like I said, I do have those small little qualms. The time skipping it didn't really help a lot of exposition.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just threw you into like random conversations. You're like, okay, wait, we were just doing this. What happened between that time? What's going on? Um, and then the overall, I feel, progression of Lula. I think that there is a massive story there, and I hope that by the end, and when I say by the end, I mean the end of Lula's story, that we do get some of that.
Yeah.
And I word it in the way of saying the end of Lula's story because I really do hope that the Trials of the Jedi is not the forever end of the High Republic, right? Like
Yeah.
the novels can stop for a while, but we still get comics. I think that would be great. So that way we can get
Mm-hmm.
these stories and everything else.
I I don't know if the comics will continue. Like we know Justina Ireland's done after the Wayseeker and Valiant Vow publish.
Hmm.
Minus her Mace Windu graphic novel with Dark Horse.
Yeah.
But like these authors have spent a ton of time in Star Wars and I love getting to see their other things. Like I just dove into Charles Soule's Endless Vessel novel, and that one is really good. As far as I've read into it, so getting to see their other books is always fun. And I know, like, when I spend too much time on one problem at work, I need to take a break in order to reinvigorate some creativity and allow me to come back and approach it with a different set of eyes. So I feel like it's the same way. Like Charles Soule may not be done with Star Wars, but he's also been able to explore other areas of Star Wars versus just the High Republic. But Daniel Jose Older has been stuck in the High Republic. Um Justina's been stuck in the High Republic. So hopefully they don't hate Star Wars forever and come back because they do tell really awesome stories. But
Yeah.
I know they want to be able to tell those stories too. So
Yeah. And I think that all of these people deserve a break. The amount of pressure that they were also in to stay on schedule, to stay on a
mhm.
timeline. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
With being in the comic book industry on that back end to actually see a schedule of these books and the turnaround for it. Um, I can see it being like, holy crap, okay, yeah, this
Yeah.
is something that is very much a stressful situation sometimes. Um, so we'll see how all of that goes. Currently, if I remember correctly, Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, sorry. Um Phase 3 is currently on issue number 14. I don't entirely know how long this will go. If do you know what
I
the cap
so
will be?
the Marvel one I know is capping at volume 3.
Okay.
I think the High Republic Adventures is capping at 16. Issue 16, I want to say, because Alyssa Wong is writing the Battle of Iriadu, and that's
Okay.
going to show up in their Crash Adventures trade, I want to
Okay.
say. Um and that will have the other two one shots that they have done for the High Republic Adventures. So we've got Echoes of Fear, we've got volume 3. I think that'll cap everything out, I want to say.
Yeah.
So which I'm hoping we will be able to have everything High Republic wrapped up by the end of July for our review stuff,
Hmm.
guys. Just with Andor being April, that's going to take us to the end of June. We may have some additional episodes for like the big book reviews and stuff, but
Hmm.
most of, or I say most of, all of May and June will be Andor
Will be
focused.
Andor. Yeah. And guys, we've always said that there is plenty of content out there for us.
Yep.
We have some things kind of in the background and in the back burner. Just in case something happens to the point of like, hey, we're not gonna cover this, so let's cover this type of thing. Um, there is a plethora of Legends content to cover as well that
Yes.
we are looking into. So don't you guys ever get worried that we won't have something to talk about. So
Oh no.
should never be a problem. But with that, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. We have officially made it past 1 hour. The first time we've done that, and I think almost a month. So thank you guys so much. Of course, you can always find me over at Blue Sky. That is where I normally talk about anything and everything comics. Just because that is, of course, my day job now. It's really fun to still say that. So if you like that kind of thing, I will, of course, be posting things about Star Wars. I will try to go into my geekdom, but it is mainly my job account where I will be posting the monthly catalogs for comics and everything that we do over at my job at Lunar Distribution. So go check that out. And then I'm also, of course, over on Ranger Alliance. We have just done our third episode into the new revamp uh, over there, covering the Super Sentai. Me, Joe, and Jake are having a lot of fun doing that. And I'm actually going to be hopefully posting 4 new episodes over on the Patreon this weekend that we have already recorded, and everything is done except for the editing. So that's why I'm hoping that it does get posted this weekend. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're doing the animated series, the anime, sorry, over at Crunchyroll, and a brand new series of Super Sentai is coming out at the end of February, which we will be covering. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But Katie, what about you?
Very nice, guys. Y'all, you can find me on most social media platforms. It is at Slice of Katie. Again, I'm not there too often, but I will get back to you one if you shoot me a message or uh at me or something, I guess. uh if you want to let us know how excited you are for Andor season 2 theories and such that you want to tell us, you can shoot us a text or leave some voicemail. It is 830-538-4828. Or you can shoot us an email. It is starwarsalliance@gmail.com. Remember, no A in the wars. Very important. Don't forget it. With that, y'all, I want to wish everyone a great day or night, whatever time of day you are listening or watching, and we will see y'all next time. May the force be with you.